Ming around here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, no brains, no headache.
Well, hello, boys.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Heyo, there he is. I'll thank you. No Brains, No Headache, episode 199. Getting it started off back in the studio. That's Matt. I'm Jordan. Happy to be here.
Let me ask you,
Okay.
how is the best month of your life going?
What is it? Are we doing May technically?
May. So you said that May is going to be the best month of your life. So May 1, how we doing?
Well, let's see. We're about a week in. Doing pretty good. I haven't had a drip of alcohol in the system at all. You know, last time I did a sobriety thing, I was still sipping on the hooch a little bit, but now I'm completely abstaining. I got to cleanse my body, and that's how I'm looking at it. Somebody asked me, why aren't you drinking? I said, I got to cleanse my body. And they're like, well, that's one way to look at it.
Well,
so that's what I'm doing.
Thank you for asking how my month is going. It started out, I would say, the significantly most disappointing I've ever had. My cat has diabetes.
Okay, yeah, I do have that on the rundown here. Sandwich diabetes.
So I'm giving him shots.
Yeah, I walked into the studio today. Matt had a syringe, was putting some sort of drugs in it, and just out of habit, I bent over and pulled my pants down.
It was kind of weird.
Anticipating one in the cheek, but that was not the case. You are administering shots to a cat. That scares me.
I thought it was the biggest deal ever. I was like, this is the end. I'm not going to be able to. But cats get over it, and he doesn't really mind the shots. So it's not that bad. But initially, I was like, my life is over. What am I going to do?
Why? Because you thought Sandwich was going to die?
No, I was just like, I'm not going to be able. But apparently, a lot of cats get over diabetes within a month of.
You can get over diabetes? Can humans do this?
If you're a cat, if you're a human, you can't. If you're a dog, you can't.
Okay.
If you're a cat, you can.
Okay, so diabetes is a lot like AIDS for life in humans.
Yeah.
Can cats get over AIDS?
I don't know. They have 9 lives. They can do whatever they want.
That sounds pretty crazy. I did not know that cats could just heal from diabetes. I thought for sure, lifelong thing, we are going to be doing ass shots in the studio for the foreseeable future with this lovely syringe you have.
Yeah, but not...
Happy to report that's the first syringe we've had in the studio.
It is.
If you come in next week and I have a lighter under a spoon, stop me, okay?
Yeah, we've had 1 loaded handgun in the studio.
Nice, and now a syringe. Things are really looking
up
for us.
we're doing pretty well, I could say.
That's pretty good, At least we know where this syringe is, and it's not just laying on the ground.
No, I got about 40 of them. I use a different one every time.
Oh, yeah, I think you're supposed to do that. That's what the medical professionals recommend. If you're a heroin junkie, I think there's an exception there.
Yeah, then you can reuse it and use it with your friends, apparently.
Yeah, make sure you're sanitizing your syringes. That's the moral of the story today, here on episode 199.
Did you watch the Kentucky Derby?
No.
Okay.
I was kind of busy. It's always at a weird time. What time was it? Central time.
It's at 6 p.m.
Central time.
But I thought it was at they were coverage starts at 1:30. I thought it the race was at 2:30. And so I went to my mom's and I watched one race and I was like, oh, wow, that was great. Kentucky Derby. It was an earlier race.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, you know what? I can bet on it. And the night before I was at the bar.
Ooh.
And you know one of those guys that everything they says, they started out yeah, you know what, man? Kind of like a guy that loves weed.
A stoner.
Yeah, he's like, you know what, man? And he's like, I love Mystic Dan. Apparently he runs really good on wet tracks. And I was like, you know what? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mystic Dan.
Convinced. You could tell me any name.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh, cool. So the next day, and I watched this race, and I was like, oh, I didn't bet on it. It's like, that's not the Kentucky Derby yet. And I was like, oh, Mystic Dan. So I put $100 down on Mystic Dan and won $2,500.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
25 to 1, eh?
Yeah, and Mystic Dan came up good, and then I ran into the same guy at the bar right after the Kentucky Derby, because after it happened, I went out to the bar, and he's like, I forgot to bet.
Oh, wow. Well, listen to your local stoners. They have some pretty good advice for you when it comes to the gambling portion of things. $2,500, wow. I know who's buying lunch tomorrow.
I gotta buy insulin for a cat.
Now we gotta buy a box of syringes and cat insulin.
Yeah.
That's gonna be weird, especially when I start shooting it up. You have to double that.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
Good thing you did win.
Also, the Kentucky Derby is like the most overrated event of all time.
I feel like a lot of events nowadays are almost getting to that, where it's a lot of anticipation, a lot of waiting around, a lot of eagerness for a very, very quick reward. You know, you're at the track all day if you're there. You got the big goddamn hats, not swearing this week. Keep that in mind. New era, no brains, no headache. You got the big hats. You're getting all dressed up. A lot of gambling going on. I mean, how much money is running through the Kentucky Derby in a day? There's got to be a ton of money.
I bet it's hundreds of millions of dollars that go.
That's crazy.
I bet if it approached $1 billion, I would not be surprised.
I wouldn't either. I mean, there's a lot of money there. I don't know. I'm not a big horse racing guy. I'm not gambling right now. The finances, could use some work, but we're getting there. And so I just think it'd be fiscally irresponsible for me to be putting money down. Now, if I would have been like you and listened to the local pothead of putting down some money on Into the Mystic Dan by Van Morrison.
But seriously, shout out Dylan. Big time.
Wow. There you go. It just gets a shout out on the podcast. Don't stop smoking weed, Dylan. You hear me? Keep it up, all right? Anybody tells you no, we're here to tell you yes.
I should not have told the bar, though, because I went in there and I got a shot of Jameson and a Busch Light. And then friend of the show, Joe, he was like, bye everyone around. And I was like, politely go fuck yourself. Swear jar.
Matt, we're only how many minutes in here, and you have to taint this podcast? 7 minutes? That's all you can last? You potty mouth. That's ridiculous. Yeah, Kentucky Derby, my stance, overrated. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Would it even be fun to go to?
No, it'd be kind of like, I feel like Talladega would be fun to go to. Like, you're just all drinking. It's like, oh, do you want to get really dressed up and go to a sporting event where you sit there for 8 hours before anything happens, and then it's literally 2.5 minutes?
If I'm going to go to any sporting event in the near future, it's going to be one of the best racing events America has to offer, the S&P 500. I don't know how they do it, but it's going to be a good time.
That is an investing capital.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Okay.
That's what I know. If Ricky Bobby's not out there, then I don't really care, but he's been known to win the S&P 500.
The only race I really want to go to is the figure 8 one, where they have to go through the middle and just half the time they just ram into each other.
It sounds like you would do well at a small town demolition derby. I think that'd be right up your alley.
That'd be cool.
I remember I went to a demolition derby years ago, and when the car is done, when they give up, they hang the white flag, they surrender, and I saw a guy had a dirty tube sock on a stick.
See, that's what I want. That's what I want.
Yeah, you're a demolition derby guy. I'm an S&P 500 guy. We all are different motorsports fans in our own respectable ways, so that's totally fine. Kentucky Derby out on that. Best month ever? It's not bad. It's going okay, just to answer that question. I feel good physically. I've been to the point now where I have exercised a certain amount of time where the soreness is going away. And this might be, this might be the most masculine thing ever said on this podcast, but I actually can't wait to go lift every day. I need the pump. I also watch Pumping Iron by Arnold Schwarzenegger as a little background noise. Yeah, that guy likes to pump it. So I'm gonna pump it later. Looking forward to it. Really excited about it. Am I gonna be jacked by the end of May? More than likely. There's a good chance. Especially when I start doing the anabolic steroids we have in the fridge.
That
Cat
is,
insulin, anabolic steroids. Some experts have said they're pretty much the same thing. You know, I could be one of those guys in the gym who just has very unorthodox ways of training. You know, you ever heard like the ridiculous stuff like, oh, you need to add ground horse bone powder to your protein shakes every day if you really want to get gains.
If you really want, you got to start drinking breast milk.
Yeah,
And it's
so
like, who are you buying breast milk from?
So, Matt, if the insulin is gone and the syringes are gone, maybe just check out the local gyms because I'm probably just slinging cat insulin shots in the,
It's like,
in the men's locker room.
I couldn't afford the cat insulin, so I just went to Anytime Fitness, and I actually got more than I wanted. My cat's dead, but it was
the
fun.
local vet couldn't supply me any cat insulin, so I went to the nearby steroid dealer, and he actually had a whole vial of it just sitting
I mean,
there.
she's not going to listen to this, but my vet is pretty hot.
Okay, right on. Hot vet.
Yeah.
Single?
No.
Okay.
Even better.
Wow. You know,
I don't think I would take him back if she wasn't.
well, there you go. Something to look forward to.
Yeah. I mean, I need the little things in life right now.
Yeah.
Cat has diabetes.
Hey, could you euthanize my cat, and then we'll go out for a nice seafood dinner?
Yeah, it's just like, hey, we can eat the cat
You
afterwards.
could guilt her into it, be all sad and stuff. I was going to say sad and S-H-I-T, but I didn't.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Jordan, you're doing well for yourself.
Thanks.
What else you got on the docket?
Vacuum. Have you ever seen the ridiculous picture or meme of the try-hard guy with his lawn, his front yard, and he's out there vacuuming? Have you seen that before?
No.
You've never seen anything like that? Oh, I've seen.
Are we talking like recreational vacuum?
No, well,
like
just
an inside vacuum?
like a meme or something on the line where it's a guy out front vacuuming their lawn. You've never seen pictures of that?
No,
Oh,
but
the other day I saw it in person. A guy had his vacuum on a wagon, and it was like plugged into the side of the house, and he was walking around his yard with the extension on the vacuum, giving it the old wipe down.
my old boss,
I don't know what the point is there, but
R.I.P. Durwood, but he used to like just smoke cigarettes and you'd throw them on the ground and then it'd be like, oh, the big boss is coming up. And Durwood would be out there with the vacuum and he would just vacuum up all of his cigarette butts.
you gotta keep the cig butts on in the bay, of course. You gotta control it. Too many cig butts, it just gives it away.
I mean, he was the one that like, we need a new air conditioner. Turns out he just had a new smoking thing that he put so many in that it lit on fire. And so he thought that we needed a new air conditioner. Like there could be a story about his life that unreal.
Hiding the money in the wheat thins box in the back of the freezer. You gotta keep it up. So yeah, I saw a guy vacuuming his lawn. I thought it was a myth. I thought it was an urban legend similar to Sasquatch. You see the stuff on the internet. Can you believe it? I saw it with my own eyes, and I do believe it.
Instead of a weed whacker, my old neighbor growing up used to have like a handheld thing, and he'd be on his hands and knees going, and he would do it. He loved his lawn.
Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah. And I was like, weed whackers exist for a reason, but they won't make it as consistent.
I live in an apartment, and I pay extra to not have to mow a lawn. Matter of fact, in the summer times, it's kind of out in Narnia a little bit, out in the boonies in its own right. Summertime, I don't even hear lawnmowers. And then when I do go to a residential neighborhood, my family's, for example, it's like, what's with all this noise? There's so much G-dang noise.
Dude, there's times where I'll be like, who the hell is mowing their lawn? And I look at the time, and it's like, oh, it's 11:30.
I definitely have found myself almost turning into the old grumpy guy because I'll be sitting at my apartment and my windows face the parking lot, and I usually have my windows open, get some fresh air, cool that biatch down. And it's so funny when people park their car and they just, that short walk from their parking spot inside of the apartment, they say like 2 words, and I want to be the guy from upstairs. Just, could you keep it down?
It's like, oh, this is a nice looking place. As they're walking into it, be like, hey!
Yeah. I just want to yell at people to keep it down when they say
Someone's
like one
trying to
thing.
jerk off up here. Can a guy masturbate in public?
Could you keep it down? I'm watching reruns of Price is Right up here. I got the last bid wrong, son of a gun. vacuuming the yard, in or out? Matt, you don't even mow your lawn.
Yeah, see, I'm out. It's like, wow, what the hell is this person doing mowing their lawn? It's like, maybe I should mow my lawn.
You're probably losing sleep every night because it's been raining a lot here. Springtime, pretty wet season. You're probably like, please stop raining. That means I have to mow my lawn. Yeah. We're going to get a city ordinance over here for Matt and his tall grass.
Now, I found out my cousin's coming back to live back home, and he is going to mow my lawn.
For nothing?
No, I'm definitely paying him quite a bit of money.
And expired gift cards?
No. Well, I could, but I think, yeah, I'll pay him.
You should give him one of those coupon books that like everybody gets in the mail.
Oh, the one where it's like, oh, yeah, you could save $2,500 if you spend $48 million.
Buy 3 tires, get the 4th free, minimum purchase $14,000.
Save $250 off of $52,000. Ram F-150.
Those kind of savings, you can't beat it.
If anyone comes into a car dealership, they're like, I got $250 off this $60,000 truck, the people in the car dealership should be within their right to punch them directly in the face.
Never dealt with a car dealership before. I don't know if I want to. There's a lot of things I'm probably not going to deal with.
I mean, I could tell you about my time with car dealerships, but I don't want to. It's boring.
I mean, I deal with realtors every single day, a lot of agents in the area, and I hope they're not expecting me to ever be their client someday. I don't know if I'll ever buy real estate, man.
And do you realize how much money that you pay me to put this in the ground?
Yeah.
And how much?
If you want me to afford a home, we're going to have to triple, if not quadruple, the current rate so I can afford it.
Did I say quadruple? I meant
quintuple.
Yeah, whatever 15 times is, then we're in business.
We'll see what happens.
What do you have for fallacies?
I just wanted to say from last week, clear it up. I thought I only swore about 3 times, and after reviewing the tape, I swore about 5 times. So I just want to apologize to the listeners out there for my potty mouth. I'm working on it, and I want an accurate count on the swear jar. You know, I miscounted, and I caught it. I made a mistake. Forgive yourself and move on. That's been the key lately. So we're going to do that, keep the swearing down. And we already talked about Sandwich having diabetes, so Godspeed to him. Did not know that cats could recover from the diabetes.
Yeah, about 90% of cats go into diabetic remission within 2 months of...
That was some nice housekeeping. We found out Matt's vet is hot.
Also, I should not have, like, Googled things, like, of, like, what you're doing, like, with your cat. Like, you shouldn't bang it is one big one. And like another thing, like I was just like going through and it's like, oh, if your cat eats like this type of food, and I was like, my cat ate that type of food, is he gonna die? And then I'd like call my vet and like the receptionist.
And your vet's like, it is 2:30 in the morning. Yeah, and I didn't understand a word you said.
And I'm not gonna come over to your house so that I can tell you what food your cat is eating. Also, put some pants on. It's weird that you FaceTime me.
Somebody FaceTimes you. It is a red flag. Good housekeeping.
Yep.
On to the meat of the bones here on episode 199, No Brains, No Headache. We are nearing 200 episodes, people. That's pretty wild.
Might have to get a guest next week.
We'll see. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. That requires scheduling and planning.
That sucks.
You know, if I can't just kind of roll off the couch and come over here and do my thing, avoid the fruit snacks, throw some nicotine in my lip, I don't want to do it, you know? Why go the extra? That little difference between ordinary and extraordinary can go F itself, as far as I'm concerned.
Respect.
We at least decorated the wall. There we go. We decorated the wall. So we don't have to look at the hideous paint anymore.
It's like, oh, Jordan has a deer he hunts, and Matt loves O.J. Simpson.
All you need to know, I haven't been hunting in 2 years.
And I haven't hung out with O.J. Simpson ever.
I haven't fired a firearm in a good 2 years.
And I haven't killed my wife and her mistress in a good while, so.
Oh, got a lot of roast. If anybody knows the paint color, if you want to give a guess on the paint color, maybe you're watching on YouTube right now, guess what that paint color is, because Matt and I don't know.
Light
It's not a maroon.
light beige is what I said.
It's like a
light maroon. I don't know what I said.
It's almost like a burnt red, almost, but it's not maroon. There's hints of brown and orange in there.
I think what we need to do is go buy a 128 pack of Crayola and
Yeah.
just compare every single one of them.
Yeah, or we should just waste an entire day going to some sort of paint department in the paint store and see if we can crack it down, just so we can paint over it.
Yeah.
That's all right. Moving on, Matt. What do we have here?
I put crypto and NFTs. First off, I want to know what NFTs are even about because I feel like you know more than I do.
Yeah, definitely not Googling what an NFT is right now.
So
In my estimation, it is a unique digital identifier that is recorded on a blockchain and is used to certify ownership and authenticity.
okay. I'm late
I
to
don't know
the
what that
I'm
means.
late to the party here, but I remember people buying NFTs like crazy. And it was like, and this thing made me this amount of money. There's people that are millionaires from NFTs, but now they are worth absolute $0. No one gives a shit about them.
Is that a fact? What
That's
you
true.
just said?
Yeah, no one cares about NFTs.
How do you know this? You just said you don't know anything about them. Now you're putting out allegations.
I know the after fact. I'm like, no one cares about NFTs. Like Logan Paul came up with this like NFT zoo and swindled millions of dollars out of people.
Probably just public perception. What do you think the value is?
Nothing, because if someone has an NFT and I take a screenshot of it, okay, it's on my phone. Like, what's the value of it?
But it's recorded on a blockchain, whatever that means.
Yeah, see, I don't understand the blockchain, nor will I ever, because the blockchain is crypto. And crypto I like to invest in.
I'm going to give my best guesstimate as to what blockchain is. Here goes nothing. Blockchain is an open-ended system that is decentralized. I'm just saying some big words. I don't really know where I'm going.
See, I was locked in. I was like, Jordan knows what he's talking about.
Should have went with it.
It's like Dylan saying, yeah, you know what? He runs good on a wet
Into the Mystic Dan.
Yeah, he
knows what he's doing.
He runs good on a wet track. It's like, yeah, because I know. And I was like, you know what? He sounds like, he does.
You know what he did? He came across something on social media like a few days prior that was insider horses
Actually,
of somebody he trusts.
I have a bone to pick with that because we did the NFL draft like guessing game and you were going on Twitter.
Yeah.
And apparently every pick was leaked on Twitter.
No, the Twitter was ahead of time, but we locked in our picks before the Twitter. Like the Twitter was just a little bit ahead of our stream, but we had our picks locked in because yes, you're right. I could see the pick on Twitter before it came.
No,
up
but
on our
like
TV.
people would be like, "Oh, the Steelers are picking in 2 picks. They're gonna pick this guy," and I feel like
I
you
never
saw
found that.
Okay, well,
I found one guy's mock draft who, after he had the first 5 or 6 picks correct, and after like the 3rd or 4th pick, I typed in perfect mock draft. So I did get like 2 or 3 picks from one dude's mock draft, but after about pick 10. There's so many variables. There's trades. Michael Penix got taken in 8th overall. That nobody saw that one coming. So it really throws a wrench in everything. I wasn't cheating, or you're just upset that I beat you.
Yes, I am. That was.
We didn't even have any money on it.
Yeah. What do we have on the MLB?
$100 per usual.
And I have.
And the Cubs are looking good. And I'm getting way ahead of myself considering it's the first week in May and we won't crown a World Series champion until the first week in November. But I was thinking to myself, I'll gladly pay you the $100 if that means the Cubs win the World Series.
Oh,
I need to hedge it by putting $100 down on some sort of gambling platform in the event they do, because then I'll probably be walking away with around $2,500 like yourself and into the Mystic Dan Morrison.
See, I think that the emotional hedge I will do with any single other team besides the Cubs. They are far and away my favorite team, and I will not do anything.
You're not going to bet on them because you think you're going to jinx it?
No, I wouldn't do that.
What does a hedge mean?
Like, let's say I have the Dodgers to win the World Series,
The Doyers.
and they're playing the Cubs. Could they? They're both in the NL, aren't they?
They could end up in
Yep.
the NLCS, yes.
But I wouldn't bet on the Dodgers even if I had a lot of money on the Cubs to win. Like, I wouldn't emotionally hedge.
So the hedge is just kind of going with the other team and covering all your bases?
Yeah, so let's say I have $100 on the Cubs to win the World Series and they play, like, the Astros or someone, and I'm going to win $16,000. I'm not going to bet $8,000 on the other team.
Do you come out on top with the hedge? How does that
Yeah,
work?
you do. You usually win half your money. Like that.
So you're just trying to guarantee half the winnings rather than
so I would
risk it all.
Instead of winning 16,000, I would win 8,000, no matter what.
No matter who wins, whether it's okay. So was your Dodgers example a moment ago? Is that incorrect?
Yeah, I don't really know who I picked. I know I picked the Dodgers and the Cubs.
Let me pull it up. I got it right here. I keep track of these things for good reason. You may think we're unorganized here at NBNH, N for no, B for brains.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Sometimes I even forget.
Okay, Matt went with the Yankees and Rangers, as well as the Cubs and Doyers. I have the Braves and Diamondbacks, and the Astros and the Orioles. Right now, the Astros are the worst team out of our 8 picks. But
They're bad.
I'm not going to give up on them because it's still very early. I'm not happy with the pick. If I could go back, thank you, and take a different team, I don't know who I would. I hate the whole NL or AL. I like the Braves and Diamondbacks. That one's good.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I had the old Cubs though.
Yeah. That's why I was going to pick the Cubs first.
You know I'm not going to pick any other NL Central team.
Yeah. Actually, I have. So when I was talking about, we'll get back to crypto now.
We're just going to weave in and out, all right? This is episode 199. If you don't know that we weave in and out at random, well, get on board.
Yeah. So I don't know why I started with I love. Like, I understand crypto.
You love crypto.
But why would you have crypto, like, to spend it other than buying illegal drugs?
I don't think a lot of people have crypto to spend it. It's strictly an investment.
But if people are spending crypto, what is it on?
It all depends on who accepts crypto as a form of payment. I think there is in larger cities, larger than Bismarck. There's just a few out there.
Name 2.
New York, Chicago.
Okay. He's got documentation.
Los Angeles, Houston, Denver. The list goes on. 70K. Come on, get real. I think in larger markets there would be places maybe such as even as low as a grocery store, convenience store, maybe, don't quote me on this, where if they accept cryptocurrency as a form of payment, which would be smart on their part because it could grow in value unlike the dollar.
But what crypto?
Whatever they accept. Usually like the blue chip cryptos would be
Bitcoin,
Ethereum, Litecoin. Yeah, I was in Solana for a hot second there. I'm currently completely out of cryptocurrency. I wasn't. My heart wasn't in it.
See, I lost it, but I don't want to take it out. I'm just going to leave it in Bitcoin right now.
Yeah, no. If you can afford to just let it sit there and ride. The thing about Bitcoin is there is an infinite number, or there is a finite number, I should say, of Bitcoin. So I feel whenever that blockchain is completed, and do not quote me on this, I am not a financial advisor. I have no idea what I'm talking about. However, when the Bitcoin blockchain is completed, I want to say maybe there's like 21 million Bitcoins out there, if you will. I feel like once that's complete, and then it's more scarce, it's more exclusive, maybe that will bring up the value. Dude, I have no idea. I mean, I rode the crypto train for a while, and I made a decent amount of money on it. I didn't lose any money, that's for sure. But I mean, I did. But
I made quite a bit of money on Bitcoin. I also probably equal to it. Fuck. No, I fucked myself because I'm going to say the amount.
There's 2 swears right there.
But I sold my Dogecoin for $196, and if I would have held on to it for 1 month more, it would have been $56,000.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let you know that you're just gonna have to forget about that, no matter how much it stings. Everybody in the world could probably play the game. Oh, if I would have done this.
Yeah, see, and I don't really care that much because like it was dumb. But then I remember telling you about it. You're like, you should have asked me, and I was like, well, I probably should have.
Well, Matt, I don't know if you're in a financial situation like me, where it's like, well, I need money. Like I'm a small business owner going full time. I'm taking every risk I can.
I told you about the cat diabetes, right?
You mentioned that.
Yeah. Okay.
I think you're fine, Matt. You know, you have a nice mortgage, you have a nice job that pays you like every 2 weeks or whatever your pay schedule is. I think you're doing fine. Whereas, so if you had money in Dogecoin, really no reason to touch it.
But that's when it got to the peak, and then like if I would have just
$196 is the peak.
No, but like if I would have held on to it, and then I would have been like, oh, I'll hold it more, and then now it's down to like
you probably would have eventually, if you had it, you probably. If it was up to what, $56,000 your value, if me and you were sitting here watching it, I would say once it got down to like 40K, it'd be like, okay, I think now's a good time to take your money and run.
But you live and you learn.
Yeah, so don't beat yourself up about that. Trust me, I could do it all day. I've had Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Litecoin for 10 years in and out. Well, I remember in college, I was buying Ethereum for $17 a share, if you will.
What's it now?
Let's check. It's a hell of a lot more than that. And I remember I was at work one day, and I was in Ethereum for like 4 days, and it shot up to $19. And I was like, I better...
Yeah, you know what? Retirement, here we come.
I better buy more. Ethereum is currently trading at $3,064.38.
Nice.
Yes, and I bought it for $17.
All right, we can get off cryptocurrency because we have no idea what we're talking about. The next thing we're gonna go.
Okay. Sorry, I'm losing. I lost some sound.
No, I mean, you can hit something, and we're gonna get into Sleepcations.
Oh yeah, where are we at here? Bringing up, I was crunching numbers all day, getting the NBNH finance whittled down, and then Matt has to bring up more finance. But Sleepcations, I heard of this on the radio. Last week, Sleepcations, it's the new thing, apparently, where you plan a vacation and your main thing is to catch up on your sleep, relax, chill out for a little bit. Is this a new trend? What are your thoughts on a sleepcation?
I've been doing this for years. Every time I take a vacation, I want to take a nap.
I couldn't agree with that more. I was even... somebody asked me about a friend's wedding the other day, and then they asked about the bachelor party, and I found myself saying, I don't even like bachelor parties. It's just too much. They're like, wow, you're getting old. Maybe. That maybe there may be some truth to that statement, but it's just it can be a lot where maybe you do need a break just from everyday life, the grind, the hustle and bustle.
There's a reason Vegas is only a 2-day town.
For sure.
Because you don't sleep at all.
Well, and then you say a bachelor party, bachelorette, what have you, you go on it, you're jamming everything you can into this time. Rightfully so. That's what you should do. You're with your friends, especially for the groom is really who it's all about. That's why you got to make the sacrifices. For that particular individual, the groom or the bride, the broom, as they call it, they are there to celebrate. That's kind of their last hurrah to single life before they get into married life, which is totally fine, respectable, and sounds like a really good time. But you're there, you're part of it. You're a bachelor on the bachelor party. Here's my beef. Whatever happened to strippers and cocaine at bachelor parties? I remember the first couple I went on, I was just like, so who got them, guys? Did you call them? You called them, didn't you? What's in your pocket? Hey, let me see that little baggie, buddy.
It's like
they're like, no. They're like, we have Busch Light, and then we're gonna pack 12 dudes in the hot tub later. I'm like, this is the least heterosexual bachelor party I've ever been to. Where are the strippers? Let me see some nipples. Let's do some illicit drugs up the nose. Call them nose nachos. This is no brains, no headache. I'm an open book.
See, that's where I'm on the opposite end of you. I love a dude's weekend, But I don't want it to be the bachelor party.
But a dude's weekend is essentially a bachelor party. Let's go on a golf trip. What are you doing? We're waking up at 8 a.m. to hit a tee time. We're going to golf 18, grab a quick lunch, cool down for a minute. Then we're going to play another 18. Then we're going to go to dinner. Then we're going to black out on the dance floor at the local pub. And that's totally fine.
I'm never going to... I'll take this to my grave. I'm never going to go on a golf trip and play more than 36 holes.
Well, I don't think you're going to go on any golf trips then.
I don't if they're like, okay, we're going to leave Thursday and then Friday morning we're going to play 18 holes. I'm like, okay, cool. Saturday we're going to play 18 holes. But if they want to play another 18 holes, I'm out. I'm going to go take a nap because I want to sleep.
I see.
Everyone works.
So that's where the sleepcations come in. Are you mad at me right now?
No, I'm like...
I feel like you're targeting me.
I'm aggressively agreeing with you right now.
Sleepcations. I've done a lot of solo trips in my day. I've done a lot of road trips by myself. I've also just done a lot of trips, anywhere where I'm flying into a destination and meeting up with people that are already there in residence where I'm headed to. But I've done a lot of solo trips. I remember one year I watched the Super Bowl by myself in my hotel room at Talking Stick Resort and Casino in Scottsdale, Arizona, while I ate nachos in bed. And it was lovely.
That literally sounds like if I could have a dream of what to do during the Super Bowl, that's it.
It did feel a little bit weird because it's the Super Bowl. I should be out socializing, partying. Went pretty hard in the paint the night before, so that kind of helped with the energy level.
It's on a Sunday.
But yeah, I checked into my hotel room because I had a little stay at Talking Stick plan for the end of my solo vacay road trip, and that's what I did. It was very refreshing. Also nice thing about Super Bowl, if you're in Mountain Time or Pacific Time, it gets done a little earlier. So you're not up all night watching the end of the Super Bowl. Got to go to the work the next morning if you didn't already call in sick.
Yeah, see, I've never taken the day after the Super Bowl off.
But I think the problem with sleepcations is, there's a lot of hardworking people out there where they probably only take 1, 2, maybe 3 vacations a year. So when they're removed from their everyday grind, they go to Florida, Cancun, they go to Denver, I don't know, anywhere, wherever you want to go, New York, I don't care, wherever you go. When you're there, it's, okay, I don't know when I'm coming back next. We got to see everything. We got to see all the shows. We got to go to the beach. We got to go try the taco shack down the street that everyone's raving about. We got to go see the boardwalk. We got to go see the lights. We got to go see the baseball game. So you cram it all in there, the sleep gets deprived.
I actually have a legendary Super Bowl party story.
Go right ahead. Go ahead.
Can you give me a beer?
I have time. Go ahead.
Yep. So I'm in college, and the Carolina Panthers are playing in maybe 2. They're playing in the Super Bowl, and I have a 175 of Jack Fire. Oh, thank you. And I'm drinking this, and it's going down pretty smooth. And one of my friends, you know him too. He's a federal agent. He's up by the border. I won't mention names for legal reasons.
Secret agent man.
Yep. But he goes, and this is like one of the last things I remember. We had a class the next day at 10 a.m. And he goes, if you make it to class, which I skipped regularly, I'll give you $100. And I slammed this entire bottle of Jack Fire.
Oh, man.
And then
I can see it already.
The next morning, I wake up on the couch. I'm like, I gotta get this $100. Like, definitely, like.
So you D-dubbed it across town.
Yeah. Out to campus.
Matt's admitting to breaking the law. Let's get the cops in here. Citizen's arrest.
Statute of limitations, though, doesn't count with that. I looked it up.
Where the hell's this statue at?
It's by the limitations and the other one. But I get out
Dude,
there.
you are going to get tossed in the Federal Reserve,
And
and
I
they're
sit-
going to have no mercy for you.
And I sit down. He goes, dude, oh my God. I just was spewing like jack fire. Like I reeked. And he's like, dude, you need to leave. And he like walked me out of the room and was like, yeah, you got to leave.
It is incredible how much you can smell alcohol on someone when you're sober.
Exactly.
I recently, thank you. I got into a vehicle, was carpooling with some people from A to B, and still kind of earlier in the day, so I didn't really expect much. But I get in the car and I'm thinking to myself, man, it kind of smells like booze in here. My headphones are going nuts right now.
Yeah, check the thingy.
Check.
Or the...
What's happening? Anywho.
Yeah, we're good.
Check. Yeah, okay,
Boobs.
we're good. Nothing like a sound check halfway through the
Yeah,
podcast.
well,
199 episodes.
Yeah,
in,
no
this is
one's
what we
listening.
get.
Anyways.
And when I'm in the vehicle thinking to myself, man, it kind of smells like booze in here. Then next thing you know, one of the passengers is like holds up their can of Coke. They're like, I got a little whiskey in here. I'm like, it does smell like booze in here. It's so incredible how you can smell booze on somebody else when you are.
But when you're not drinking, you'll be like, that guy smells like booze. It's like, that was my friend.
That's my friend. That's what he is driving away right
Yeah,
now.
it's like, oh, you went to... Oh, you came out to Excel spreadsheets 2.0 and just fucking rammed your car into the school? Great.
That's a huge problem with
Yep.
that school and why I have beef with it.
Yep.
Hey, let's put a school, I don't know, 15 miles from like central Bismarck. Stupid. I'm pretty convinced it's
All right,
not accredited.
we
Let's
can move on. Genius or dumb? I have this question. I was in a bar and a guy brought a tackle box in.
Full of drugs.
No, he brought it in and they were like, that's $6 for a drink. And he's like, okay. And he put it down, opened the tackle box, grabbed his wallet, gave him $6, put it away, and held on to it. Genius or dumb?
What else was in the tackle box?
Like his phone, maybe any tobacco products.
There's a thing called pockets.
Yeah.
Fanny packs are back better than ever. You could get one of those satchel bag thingies.
So dumb.
I might make fun of you a little bit. I would say the tackle box is dumb, very unnecessary. Now, if there's a whole bunch of items in there that are necessary when out and about.
Like if you're going to a party, I would say it's good, but this guy was at a bar.
Well, I'm saying that's why I was wondering, like in the movie Grandma's Boy, one of the grandma's roommates has all those prescription drugs. She keeps them in a
Yeah.
tackle box, organizes them nice. If it was a drug tackle box, I would say that's genius. It kind of you just walk in, you set it down, people can see, oh, there's tackle box guy, there's drug dealer guy. I better go get some Xanax.
But
I
it
better
was
go get some
it was
Adderall.
crazy. Like I didn't think like he just like had him like, why is that guy? I thought it was a toolbox right away.
Toolbox is fine.
And then he like was like ordered a beer and he's like, oh, 1 sec. And he like put it on the chair next to him and like opened it up.
He pulls out a gun. No, it's not $6.
Yeah, it's like,
It's actually free.
yeah.
Call an
Did I say-
ambulance, but not for me.
Exactly. So I would say I initially thought it was genius, but then I was like, would I want to walk around with a tackle box?
Yeah,
the
and I
entire
feel
night?
like I would forget the tackle box.
I lose my wallet half the time.
Yeah, the tackle box is unnecessary. Every man out there, phone, wallet, keys. I'm allowing one more for nicotine, whatever your
Chew all phone keys.
yeah, some chewing tobacco, some vaporizer, nicotine, whatever floats your boat. That's fine with me. So yeah, phone, wallet, keys, nicotine. Maybe you got your weed pen on you.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, that's something to not forget. But chapstick, I'll throw a little chapstick in there. Maybe gum. I could see now where the pockets are getting a little full, but it still doesn't justify an entire tackle box. A fanny pack could take care of this issue, and it's all about placement. You know, I always have my phone in my back pocket because it just fits there. It's gigantic. iPhone 12 Pro Max, bigger than my face. And so I put that in my back pocket. When I sit down, I take it out and I set it there. Wallet, front pocket. The wallet in the back pocket that's an old urban legend now.
No, and like I saw a thing that was like, here's your spine when you sit down. Everyone's seen it. But
chiropractors can tell on patients if they have their wallet in their back pocket and what side they sit on.
Also, if you have more than like 10 or 15 cards in your wallet, like just get rid of. I went through mine the other day and I had 2 hotel keys.
Really? I was thinking about that because my wallet is getting beat to crap and I need a new one. And I was thinking about those people you see where they set their wallet down and it's the bifold, but it's barely closed because they have so much stuff and you can see receipts and stuff. It gives me anxiety. I keep my receipts in my wallet just to transfer them to the place they need to go, the folder full of receipts that I keep.
I keep my receipts right up the poop chute.
Right in the old prison wallet. A whole different type of wallet.
And when I go through it, it's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, so I don't understand those people. And I even have several bank accounts and credit cards.
I was going to say, is there a better feeling when you have gum at a bar and someone goes, hey, does anyone have a piece of gum? And you're like, I got you. Maybe my best feeling ever.
The gum is an underrated piece of supplies to keep on you. You could be just, especially when you yak in the bathroom, it's nice to just kind of refresh a little bit. Slow down on the Irish car bombs. Who's ever puked from an Irish car bomb before? I don't know. Not me.
All right, let's move on. We got to get out of here.
Do we? Where are we going?
No, I don't have to get out of here. But I was just dumb with the Dumb and Dumber.
Britney Griner been all over the news lately. She had an interview with Who Really Gives a Crap, but I saw little clips of this, a few tweets here and there, some random reels, what have you, and it's a whole victimizing campaign, pretty much. Is what I'm getting. Have you seen any of the Britney Griner material out there?
I've actually had her muted on Twitter for almost 5 years.
It's someone else.
So
she was recently on some sort of interview, and because they were making fun of her voice a lot, it's very deep, which is whatever to me. But the whole time they were just like, the questions were meant to almost make Britney Griner as a victim and feel sorry for her. So my question is, are we supposed to feel bad for Britney Griner? And now she wrote a book, I believe is probably why she did the interview, to spice up the book sales a little bit.
So,
but why do you get to break an international law and then didn't the USA make a trade for this person and there's still other people in Russia right now that probably would deserve to come back a lot more than...
They traded a Russian arms dealer for her who had killed like hundreds of people. And the thing about that is I've had a joke, and I think I said it at the last comedy show that I did. And it's like, Britney Griner didn't realize that you can't bring weed on a plane.
I mean, you can.
You can.
Not in or out of Russia.
Yeah.
International flights, not even I would risk the pot in the bag.
I think I actually asked the crowd, and I was like, hey, if I'm leaving Russia, and there's...
What is this, a public forum or a comedy show?
One thing I can't bring on a plane other than a gun. And the entire crowd said in unison, drugs. If you can't figure that out,
I just don't understand. The whole interview was trying to make us feel bad for Britney Griner, and she said things like she felt like she was a zoo animal and didn't feel like a human. Well, guess what, Britney Griner? When you break the law and you're incarcerated, that's kind of the whole idea. You gave up your right, pretty much, to be treated like a normal person because you broke the law. I'm sure murderers that are in prison for life, they probably don't feel too human either when they're locked up for 23 hours a day. And they're lucky to get a little bit of sunshine in some sort of cage. that is in a maximum security prison.
What if they just had?
Yeah.
What if they just had Britney Griner like trimming the tall trees at the prison?
That would include some sort of sharp object, Matt, and they usually try not to give prisoners sharp objects that could kill people. But I don't know. What do I know about
Russian prisons?
Russian prisons? I really don't. That I feel like your right to be treated like a normal human went out the window when you decided to go to Russia. Completely different world. That's not the free world like the United States of America. It's a completely different landscape over there.
But I actually do know a little bit about that. A lot of WNBA stars went over there to play.
And that's fine. But you need to understand what you're doing. I'm going to Russia to play basketball. That's okay. You can do that if you so please to. Don't break their laws that are going to piss them off enough to throw you in jail, and then the United States of America has to deal an arms dealer back to Russia when there's other people still stranded in Russia and all over the world that deserve to come back to the United States more than you. And then you get back here, and I gotta love capitalism. I'm not bashing capitalism here, but then you come back, and now we're getting a book deal out of it, and the rest of us Americans and any viewer of this interview you did is supposed to feel bad for you. I don't think so, Britney Griner. Try again. Be thankful for what you have. Be grateful that you came back to the United States of America. You broke a law. Most people, when they break a law, they're not going to get the treatment you got. So if you were treated like a zoo animal, you maybe should have thought about that before you took drugs on an airplane in Russia. That is the dumbest thing ever. You want us to feel bad for you, and now you're playing victim. I'm sorry, honey, but that's not how it works. Take responsibility for your actions and deal with it.
I want this on the record that we
I'm
were
sweating.
like our first go around of the podcast almost 10 years ago. We talked about Britney Griner and we both shit on her.
And some things never change. Years later, we are still crapping on Britney Griner. Oh, thank you. I don't get it. It really upsets me. You know, I'll share something with you and our listeners. I once got busted for possession of marijuana and paraphernalia. And guess what? I admitted to it. I let the cops cuff me. I let them process me. I told them, yeah, I screwed up. I made a mistake. I had to go through the legal procedures. I had to go through probation. I did 18 months of probation. I did it. I took responsibility for making a mistake. I didn't get it all wiped away, and now I'm not writing a book hoping everybody feels bad for me. I made a mistake, and I admitted to it. And I made changes to do it. I haven't been arrested in over 10 years now. Thank you. Appreciate that. So I don't get it. Doesn't sit right with me. Britney Griner, I'll do one for the swear jar. You can go fuck yourself.
All right,
Moving on.
So I think I am 3-1. Actually, this is staying on the basketball topic.
Staying on the weird-looking, tall as shit basketball players.
Being a weird guy, I was thinking about Yao Ming. I feel like every person in the world, and by world I mean like the United States, like Yao Ming was pretty good. Like he moves pretty well for a big man. And his dad was 6'7", played for the Chinese national team. His mom was 6'3", and played for the Chinese national team. Why not let those two people have like 40 kids?
Let them have 40 kids?
Yeah.
In China, you're saying?
Yeah, it was like the one child law. Okay, you have a 6'3" lady and a 6'7" dude.
I don't know. Those walls would be pretty beat up by the 40th kid. My goodness.
Well, I'm saying
after the 12th, they're gonna start walking out.
Oh, I was gonna say like let them have 3 kids. Could you imagine 3 Yao Mings? The Chinese national team would have fucking beat the brakes off of everyone.
Well, you know, a moment ago when I said Britney Griner went to Russia and you need to understand the landscape. Similar thing with China. China is only going to let you have X amount of kids. Come to America. If you want to bang it out every day and have them walking out every 9 months, that's your choice.
Go to Mississippi.
I'm not going to stop you.
But I feel like that. Like, are you kidding me? These 2 people that are genetic specimens are like, yeah, we're going to have 1 kid. Let them have as many as they want.
That's just not how China works.
Yeah. But like it should have. Could you imagine? Like
I don't think China's too fond on producing extremely tall basketball players that eventually go over to America and play. Man, I don't know if you know this, but China doesn't like the United States a whole lot. Is this news to you?
oh, I know that, but back then in early 2000s
Same
or
thing.
or in 1990,
Same thing.
how could you say in the government that you're controlling that you're like these two people
Extremely tall or not, you probably shouldn't tell people how many kids they should have, but whatever, population control.
I mean maybe
Here's an idea. Don't live in China. Don't take drugs on a Russian plane.
but if your dad's 6'7", your mom's 6'3", and they have
That
Yao
would be
Ming,
weird because I'm like 5'9" and 3/4 on a good day. So
and
that
they
would suck.
and they have Yao Ming. Could you imagine like 3 Yao Mings of what it would have brought to China and what Yao Ming brought to China?
I feel like that's kind of a stretch. Like just because you're tall. I'm sure there's all sorts of tall people out there that have never played a sport, touched a basketball in their life.
Oh, in the U.S., yeah, there's a lot of
Is that rare for China?
yes, because they're all fucking 5'8". Swear jar.
Are you upset at the height of Chinamen?
No, I'm upset with they didn't let him have more kids.
You're gonna have to take that up with the Chinese government, man. It's just been like that.
But if they would
I
have
think
let
you're
him,
trying to change a law in a different country that hates America.
it could have been sweet. We could have had like 4 Yao Mings.
You know what you need to do? There's only one solution to this problem.
Eat Chinese food.
Write a strongly worded letter to the leader of China, and I'm sure they'll get back to you.
Yeah, I'm sure my house won't be flagged as something.
Yeah, Matt's just communicating with the leader of China via handwritten letters. And maybe they'll, is it too late? How like a woman's eggs, they are not as fertile, I believe would be the word, as they get older. Is that the same for men and sperm, or is sperm just like good to go at all
I'm
times?
assuming that China is
Not what I asked. Not what I asked.
I mean, I pivoted pretty quick, and by pivoted I mean just ignored what you said. But if they could freeze Yao Ming sperm
Dong.
and Dong, if they would, they could have a fleet of tall people.
I think what you're trying to get with this segment, and correct me if I'm wrong, you want a Chinese army of tall people to come take over the NBA to improve ratings?
Yes.
Okay. Well, like I said, let's start with a strongly worded letter. Let's maybe try to change history. 2 30-year-old single bachelor men from Bismarck, North Dakota, United States. We are going to put the foot down to the Chinese government, and we are going to let them know that we want more tall Chinese people.
Yes.
And it's going to happen. No brains, no headache. They say you guys don't ever do anything. Well, here we are. We are leading a revolution of tall Chinese people to come over to America to play in the National Basketball Association.
I would watch it then.
Okay, Adam Silver, commissioner of the NBA. You want Matt to watch? Now you know what you got to do. Get him more tall Chinese guys. And if you don't, guess who's not watching? Matt. This is fun. I'm having fun.
You just got to shit on all my ideas.
Well, I didn't really know where you're going with there.
Yeah, well,
You sound upset that China has a rule that you can only have, is it 2 children?
1 kid at the time.
1 kid at the time?
Could you imagine if they had 4 kids and there was
Imagine if they had 5 and be a whole starting 5.
but we couldn't do that. I would want 3 that are men. I'm actually getting really close to communism right now.
And sexism.
But 3 that are 7'5" to 6'10", and you have a small forward that can shoot. He moves like a freaking
Banshee?
yeah. All right, go on to your next thing before I get entirely more racist.
Yeah, Matt was pretty set on that one. I just want to give a quick shout out to the guy that you'll see in public who is wearing his sunglasses on the brim of his baseball cap indoors and it's dark outside. Salute to him. How do you feel about the person you see? And it happens all the time. Maybe it's a North Dakota thing. I'm not really sure. But I'm out at a drinking establishment or an eating establishment, somewhere public, and you see the person walking around. They got the glasses on top of the brim of the hat. It's 10:30 p.m. We're indoors. Why do you have the sunglasses on? I can't trust a person like that. What are you going for? If you admit, hey, I forgot they're up there because I took about 4 Irish car bombs and drank about 13 vodka sodas, then yeah, I'd be okay, that's understandable. Your shades are on your head, dude. Why are they still there? And then it brings up the next point. On a scale of 1 to 10, Matt, 1 being not trusting at all, 10 being the most trusting, how much can you trust the guy who wears a baseball cap and tucks his ears in?
That's tough. You can't. Like, I'm trying to think of people that have done it.
Yeah.
Because those people are married to that hat.
And they seem to have hot wives, too. And it's just like, what do you see in this person?
Yeah. It's like one of those people that you're like, oh, sweet. You'll be divorced in 5 months.
Yeah.
And I can...
Well, we'll take it a step further. You got the ears tucked into the hat. Well, when you wear sunglasses, they kind of sit on the ears, but this person has Oakley oil rigs. There's a good one for you. Some gas cans, and they're just kind of there because the ears are tucked into the hat, making no spot for the Oakleys to sit on, and they're wearing them.
Honestly, I think we need to have, like, the Olympics of douchebag, like, physical things.
And they always have the... what do you call this part? Just this part of the beard, the goatee?
Like, just
but it's just the chin.
You're describing me right now.
Oh, yeah. My bad.
That's all I can grow.
Oh, yeah. Didn't see over there.
Yeah.
When the hell did you get here?
Yeah, or they're wearing shorts when it should be winter.
Yeah, well, we know a guy like that, so.
I know multiple people like that.
It's almost short season. It's weird.
Yeah.
I feel weird about it. You know, the transition from wearing warm clothes all winter, trying to stay cozy. You got all sorts of combinations of your outfit choices so you don't get too redundant. And then summer comes and it's like, okay, here's my hairy pale legs.
Yeah, it's like I can't
Here
wait
you
to
go.
not take my shirt off ever.
Do you ever have just like a dynamite outfit and you almost have to tell yourself to not wear it like multiple days in a row?
Yep.
You ever do laundry and then when you are complete with your laundry, you do the whole shebang of like actually folding it and putting it away? Then once you're done with that, I noticed I just did that the other day and I was so picky about like I wore a pair of socks for like 3 hours ish, and then I was getting undressed. I'm like, oh, these can go back in because I don't want to do more laundry, and they're still clean.
That's a wild thing. I don't like socks. I'm out. Like if I wear them,
You should wear them.
my feet are bad. Like when I wear them for like an hour, it's like those are done.
Kill, you're a different specimen, I guess. Bad person to ask.
This shirt and sweatshirt, I've worn for like 3 days.
Fantastic. The thing is, though, you can wear it. For example, I wore a really nice outfit. I was feeling really good about it. I'm like, wow, having a good outfit day. You know, it's like a good hair day, but better. It's a good hair day, but on anabolic steroids. It's a good hair day, but on cat insulin, you know, right in the old hoop. But you wear it and you're with one group of people, but then maybe later in the day or the next day, you're going to be with a completely different group of people. And you're like, well, nobody saw me wearing that. I'm just going to repeat the outfit because I'm having a good outfit day. And then you stretch that into good outfit days. It's really optimizing.
All right, we can talk about this next time, but I have a lot of
You have somewhere to be? Do you have a date or something?
No, I have a lot of questions. Like, and this could be about 25 minutes of how long you wear stuff. And I don't want to do that to our people.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's a good place to stop. Next week we have episode 200, so hoorah, kudos not only to Matt and myself, but kudos to our listeners, you guys. Hopefully you're watching on YouTube, maybe you're listening on Spotify, Apple, wherever it may be. Make sure you're subscribing. And yeah, it's for you guys listening out there is why we keep doing it. We have a lot of fun doing it, but we hope to bring joy and entertainment to everybody out there listening. 200 episodes, quite a milestone. Honestly, never thought we would get to this point. Somebody the other day asked me my opinion on it, was congratulating us on how far we've come, and I was like, yeah, I'm surprised Matt and I have made it this far. I don't think we would have ever ended it like for any bad reasons. I thought just eventually one day me and you would kind of sit down and be like, this is fun.
This is done.
You know, and when I was younger, would play video games, I'd get really hooked into like one video game for like 2 or 3 weeks. And all it would take is just like one day where I didn't play the video game, I'd be over it.
Yep.
I'd be on to something else for 2 or 3 weeks, different video game, whatever. So yeah, I definitely thought maybe that was just going to leak into the podcast production. However, here we are, episode 199, wrapping up right now.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. You can follow No Brains, No Headache.
And for those listeners in the area, if you want to come celebrate the 4-year anniversary coming up / 200th episode, they kind of align within about a week of each other. Matt and I will be hitting the downtown Bismarck, on May 24th, starting about 7 p.m. If you come hang out with us, we're going to buy you a drink, and you're more than welcome to come party with us for the rest of the night. It's going to be a really good time. It's our thanks to you. Go out, celebrate the success, the longevity. So much fun. I'm going to put up some stats next week for the 200th episode. I'll be talking about all of our guests, everything we've done. I'll be going through our finances, how much we make before taxes, after. Matt's social security number leaked next week.
No, I'll give it to you. It's 501.
But that's what we're going to do, so thank you so much for listening. Up next, Matt, anything else?
Episode 200. Let's get it.
This is a freestyle off the top of the dome. Here we go. And I do it again, gang.